Hello and welcome back to Syrasi Plays Pokemon Crystal, NuzLocke. Where we last left off, we had just been exploring more of Goldenrod City, and now we're going to grind up our team a bit before we advance any further, because that gym's going to be a little bit scary. We don't have too many levels to gain, but I want to just make sure everything's good. And I kind of want to hatch the egg before we do much more, too. So, oh, by the way, we're also joined again by our co-host, River. Say hello, River.
Hello.
Okay, so I'm going to hit up the Pokemon Center, and then we can go on our merry little way. Kid on his Game Boy still. Don't those parents ever give any limits on the time you play? Did you ever have limits on how many hours you could play video games a day?
Yes, I was actually playing a Yu-Gi-Oh game and was inputting all of the cards from my deck into this game to try and get as many cards as I could. And I did it for 5.5 hours when I was 8 years old. And then my parents instituted a 30-minute strict limit.
Which Yu-Gi-Oh game was it? It might have been the same one I used to play.
Called Dark Duel Stories.
Pretty sure I played the same one. It was addicting as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of led you on because you could really easily win in the early stages.
Yep.
And then later on, it would just, like, kick your ass.
Did you, it had, like, things where you could create different cards that didn't make any sense.
Oh my god.
So you could create 2,000 cards that were really good and only had 3 stars.
What?
Yes.
No, I don't believe you.
Yes. Some of them looked a little risky, which, you know, I didn't have any problems with.
Uh-huh. Yeah, of course you didn't. All right, Vlad, show us what you got. We still haven't caught a Pidgey. Oh my god. I'm glad it's not working. Oh, this shouldn't be too bad.
Where's the Pidgey picking up the sand from?
It's just kicking it up from the ground.
Fair.
Or it might flap it into your eyes, too, with wind. That's probably
Fair.
makes more sense. How do you have 1 HP left? Oh my god. Okay, now you're dead.
It would make sense that a
feast on your
Pokemon with
corpse.
larger wings would be able to lower your accuracy more, but it never happens. The whole Pokemon stage reducing of accuracy and decreasing attack seems really odd.
Well, it decreases by percents.
Mm-hmm.
So it technically does decrease it more over time.
That seems like a sand attack from a Pidgeotto should do a lot more than from a Pidgey. So, like, why is it that a level 1 Rattata can use Tail Whip and take down the defense of level 100 by 20?
Because it's psychological, River. I'm pretty sure it's just going to, like... They're like, oh my god, it's flailing its tail at me. Oh, what's going to happen? So they, like, raise up their defenses, and then that drops their defenses elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It panics the Pokemon. That's my theory.
Fair enough.
That's a game theory. Oh, wait, that's a different channel. I'm not stealing their thing. Don't tell them I did that, and if you're watching, hi, I'm a big fan.
So we were talking before about Pokemon just being code. Why does poison happen when you walk in these games, then?
It doesn't in every game.
It doesn't in the newer ones.
They stopped it in Gen 6.
Mm-hmm.
So the answer must be, I have no idea. Interesting. Well, all of the status effects persist.
Mm-hmm.
It's just poison is... What? I mean, Ditto's kind of a weird, hard-to-use Pokemon, but this is disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, I'm going to leave you in so you can transform into him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm smart about this shit. That's a lot of damage, actually. You're going to turn into him, then I'm going to switch in Stoner Bro. Oh, it's like purple. It's a shiny, get it! Let's see, yeah. We're going to need Stoner Bro. Use that rock type, rock throw.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. Our one weakness, anything that doesn't rely on defense.
Do you think Ditto has a set personality, or do you think it changes for each Pokemon it transforms into?
I think it's kind of bemused no matter what its form is. I remember that episode of the anime where there was the performing Ditto.
Mm-hmm.
And it would kind of just, like, have this goofy look no matter what it turned into. And it was kind of like the defective Ditto.
Mm-hmm.
That was what they were saying at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think that it's reflecting that the Ditto is still just a Ditto.
Mm-hmm.
And it's doing its own little thing. So I think the personality stays more or less the same. A more skilled Ditto would probably change some things to better disguise itself, but it doesn't change its personality. It's just its shape.
Do you think that the Ditto uses so much energy trying to transform, and that's why it only gets 5 PP of each move?
It gets only 5 PP of each move? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just like limited energy, yeah. That makes sense.
So that would be the only thing that would make sense to me.
I suppose. I don't really know. Wow, that's a good question. The Ditto transforming its genetic code to reflect whatever it's looking at. How does it copy the genetic code by looking at something? Especially if it's like a ghost where it has no physical form.
Or like, what if it's a Zoroark that's hiding?
Oh, if that was a crit, that would have killed.
Which I know Zoroark, it doesn't transform into something that's a Zoroark hiding. But it seems like it should anyway. But I don't know.
Interesting theory.
Do you think Pokemon want to be caught?
Pokemon want to be caught. Some do, some don't. Like there's obviously the case, it's a matter of trust in a lot of cases. I think the Pokeballs are meant to streamline the process of befriending Pokemon so that it kind of like, it might sort of indoctrinate them actually when they get loaded in, because they suddenly seem a little bit more amenable. And I talked before about how I think the gym badges are part of the ranks in the military of each region that the Pokemon are programmed to be obedient towards, to prevent a coup or anyone else challenging the generals of the army, which is my favorite theory about how that all works. But even if you have no badges, the lowest level Pokemon will obey you after you've caught them. And the justification has to be that on some level the Pokeball forces them to. Either that or they go through some like training regimen. Because like Charmander joined Ash willingly because he was super kind to him and saved him when no one else would. Even though Brock did most of the work.
Yeah, fair.
And I always was uncomfortable with that because like Charmander should have been Brock's Pokemon.
But Brock's only like in the rock Pokemon. And Togepi.
He has Vulpix.
He does have Vulpix and Togepi, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think is in the Luxury Ball, though, that makes the Pokemon so friendly towards you?
Probably has increased indoctrination features. It might also just have like really nice simulations inside, because the Pokemon, I think Pokemon-Ami is supposed to be showing what it's like inside the Pokeball, and you're kind of just playing with the Pokemon while it's in its Pokeball in a lot of ways. That's why all those games you're playing are really weird and abstract in Pokemon X and Y, because they're programmed into the Pokeball. But yeah, the Luxury Ball probably just has like deluxe. You get a beach and shit, and a attendance, and a nice bed.
Do you think a catch rate reflects how much the Pokemon wants to be caught?
Well, in that case, they all really liked getting beaten.
Well, that's just more they're tired, but like the initial, like the catch rate for like most legendaries is like 3, where your catch rate for your Rattata is like 45 to 90 or whatever the hell
This is true. Well, some Pokemon do want to be caught. It's true. Well, all these Pokemon, if my theory is correct, they're all trained to be subservient to humans. Certain humans, though, so the ones that they are trained to respect. And that's why a lot of the things having to do with Pokemon training is military and combat-based. So that's why a lot of Pokemon breeders don't have many Pokemon of their own. And they're certainly not super focused on fighting, because they're doing their own thing. Yeah, good question.
So there's a lot of different traits and things that are in the different regions. Where do they get, like, the flower for the lava cookies? Like, is that just, like, random grass, or...
Oh, you mean farms?
Yeah.
So, there aren't many farms in the Pokemon world. And that's something that I'm a little bit concerned about. Like, their economy seems unsustainable. Thinking about it, like, there's a few places that there are farms. Like, I'm thinking in Hoenn, if you go north of the volcano, there are farms outside of that city in Fall Arbor Town.
Yeah, that's true.
So in a couple places there are farms. But like most of Japan, most of the island are completely unarable land. You can't farm in most of the island because it's all mountains. So there's only specific areas. And the most populous areas are going to be away from those farms because you want to focus. They focus agriculture in specific areas that have good land for farming, and it's like super emphasized right there. So what that means for us is that the farms are usually not interesting enough for them to have gyms in cities around there.
Since they, I would assume, would be a lot more like fishing based, does that mean like they're just eating Magikarp? Because we see meat happening, especially in the anime.
This is true. Well, also in the anime, we do see fish that aren't Pokemon. They're in Cerulean City Gym, but it's not clear whether those are like relics of an ancient bygone thing. It's like, oh, we have the last fish of the entire world. And I think there are fish in other episodes too, like when they go in the ocean, but usually it's just giant Pokemon, like, Gyarados and stuff.
What do you think a Gyarados tastes like?
I imagine there's a lot of just bone in there, and it's mostly just stomach. Well, it's a dragon. No, it's not a dragon type, even though it's got the Mega form. That's such an insult to Gyarados that they didn't give it dragon type.
They gave it dark type.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it knows a lot of dark moves, to be fair. I'm going to heal everyone up quick.
I can imagine it be just like a very tough meat.
Yeah. I never thought a Gyarados would look good. I also don't think a Magikarp would look good because carp is a gross fish.
Yeah.
It's a bottom feeder.
We see when
very bony.
In the anime, when Meowth eats a Magikarp,
he's just like, that was creepy.
He's just like, it's hard and all it is skin and bones.
He ate the Pokemon. Oh god, I forgot that happened.
He didn't eat it. He tried to, and he couldn't.
Oh right, its scales.
He broke his teeth.
Right, its scales were too long. Or hard, that is. Maybe it's because that Meowth doesn't see combat enough to have much EXP.
What Pokemon do you think would be the tastiest?
The ice cream one.
The ice cream one? The ice cream one's pretty good.
I don't even remember what its name is.
Vanilla Ice?
Vanilla Ice, yeah. I just want to call it Scoopy because that's the mascot of this one fast food chain in the Midwest that you wouldn't know of. It's called Culver's, and they have Scoopy, who's just an ice cream cone. So I call him Scoopy. And if I ever catch one in a NuzLocke, he's getting named Scoopy. That's inevitable.
Yeah, that's just a particular Pokemon. There's some Pokemon that seem like some really bad ideas. Like, a lot of people really hate on Klefki. The only redeeming factor to Klefki is so good in competition in some instances with Prankster. Like, it's not going to be your Uber tier by or your OU tier, but it has some, like, cool utilities. But it's a keyring.
That's true. I knew someone whose favorite Pokemon was Klefki because in the anime it's, like, teleporting all around and it's really giggly and happy.
Is there any Pokemon that you think just looks so terrible you can't stand it?
Yes. The garbage one.
Garbodor? Garbodor's pretty bad.
I hate that one. Yeah, I don't like it. I think Muck looks awesome. I hate Garbodor. Or whatever it's called. Not Gardevoir. That's the other one. There's a lot of Pokemon that I think were bad designs, but that's the main one that comes to mind. I'm like, I don't like looking at this one.
Yeah, Gen 5 came with a lot of cool Pokemon, but I think ones, especially Garbodor and King Klang, look terrible.
King Klangs, yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of the Pansage, Simisear. I'm really not a big fan of how those ones look either.
I don't like them either, yeah. Oh, fun story. So when I first was getting into Pokemon X, I had taken a long break from the Pokemon games. I'd stopped at Leaf Green and I resumed at Pokemon X. And I was wandering around in the woods and I ran into the first, like, the Panpour, Pansage, Pansear. I ran into Pansage and Panpour. And one of them was and I thought they were all just, like, the same thing. I ran into a shiny Panpour. I thought it was a Pansage and I killed it.
No!
It even did this shiny sparkle, and this was the first shiny I'd run into that gen, and I didn't know that was marking it as a shiny.
Oh, God.
So at this point I thought, like, oh yeah, it's probably just a slightly different shade of that other thing. So yeah, I'm bye. And then I looked it up later, I'm like, holy shit, that was a shiny. Oopsie.
I've only found one shiny, and it was a shiny Voltorb.
That's a terrible shiny.
It's a terrible shiny, and you can't breed it. So
what color is it?
think it's blue.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool.
It's a great ball.
Yeah, I got it in, I think it was Pokemon Platinum.
Very nice. I ran into a few shinies. I spent 3 months breeding Vulpixes until I got a shiny. And it was like really good IVs, perfect ability. I had Drought because that's what I wanted. I don't care about Flash Fire. And that's my favorite Pokemon ever, Ninetales. So that's why I did that. I also, in the wild, I found a shiny Mime Jr.
Ooh.
And it's like this ugly greenish color, and I hate Mr. Mime. It's just a very creepy looking Pokemon. So I was like, I'm going to hold on to this and see if any of my friends want to trade for it. And then once like, I'll trade you a shiny Eevee for it. And then I realized shiny Espeon is so ugly.
Yeah, it's also green.
It's that puke green color. I love Espeon, it's just purple. And I was like, oh, maybe the shiny will be prettier. No. Some shinies are just like not the right color. Some are amazing, some are terrible.
I like shiny Charizard. It's black.
Oh yeah, that one's cool. It looks like the Charizard, Mega Charizard X, right?
Looks very similar to how Mega Rayquaza shiny looks.
Oh jeez. Yeah. The Mega Evolutions I wasn't a huge fan of in concept. And I don't like the Z moves either. I don't like any of those additions.
I think that the Mega Evolution was kind of cool, but it made the game super easy, especially going through a Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I just beat the entire thing with my Mega Gardevoir.
The game was just way too easy, yeah.
But the Z moves, I think I don't like them very much, and I don't really like the new happiness meter they have with your Pokemon in Sun and Moon. Because it's like, oh, my Pokemon's dead. Oh, it survived on 1 HP. Oh, my Pokemon got an extra crit. Oh, my Pokemon cured its fainting. And while those are cool concepts in, like, abstract,
drastically reduces the difficulty of the game.
And it's like, this is not a hard game to begin with.
It's not.
Which is why we do things like NuzLocks in the first place.
Right. I'm really hoping someday that they actually work in NuzLocke to the programming of the game. Like they did with Pokemon Uranium.
Yep.
They had NuzLocke as an option just off the get-go. And they gave you the running shoes right off the get-go, too. And I remember everyone, like, applauds that because it's so perfect. What were we talking about again?
I don't even remember.
Well, it doesn't matter. We'll just keep talking. That's what this episode is. We're just going to chat about Pokemon-related shit and hopefully find it entertaining because we're just grinding.
Did you like the roller skates in X and Y?
No. Well, yes and no. I liked not having to hold a button down to run. I didn't like how I would slow down while going through bushes. And I didn't like how I couldn't hold the item finder item while running. Actually, most of the time I just held the item dowser myself because then I could just like run freely. The downside to that was that I would never not use it, so it was way too easy to find the hidden items.
Yeah, fair.
And that's, I think, why they made the item finder items harder to use in Sun and Moon because they don't want you have to use the Pokemon to do it, and that's because they don't want it to be that easy. This is a bad idea to switch into Teeth. I need to be more careful. I mean, you're not in terrible danger at level 17, but...
And Teeth is probably not going to be seeing a lot of combats.
Not in this gym, no. Might be useful in Ecruteak. In case... no, not against poison, because all the ghosts are ghost poison, pretty much. I think Mischievous is the only pure ghost at this point in the games.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Teeth. I don't know why I keep switching out of Vlad, but I feel like it's hard for him to level himself up. I don't know why. Oh, he has really bad stats until he levels into Golbat. I think he has one more level, though, until he evolves. It's 18, right, for Golbat?
I can look.
Why don't you consult the Pokedex?
Yes. 22.
Fuck. Okay, so not until after this gym.
Yeah, you got a bit more to go.
Who's calling me? Liz, again? I told you I'm not interested. Hi, do you have some free time? I've got all sorts of time. If you're free, would you like to battle? I'll be waiting on Route 32.
This person has to be a child.
Yeah.
What type of person says they have tons of free time unless you're a child?
Well, you're certainly not in college. Because I don't know, at this point in the year I have a lot of free time, but that's because I'm a graduate student. It's a wrap time! Rat-a-tat. I'm just going to kill you straight up.
Rattata was twerking before it was cool.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And now you die. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh! I need to stop being so fucking reckless. That would have been death. Okay, you're not seeing combat anymore, Vlad. You're just going to level up passively. Because I need to get that Golbat, because I don't want to have the run into a Golbat later and have to catch it.
How do you think Protect works in these games?
Magic.
Do you think that they just, like, block themselves somehow? Because they're able to prevent all damage.
I think it's like they're assuming a defensive fighting posture to block all incoming moves, and they sacrifice attacking in order to do it. That's probably the best explanation, right?
Yeah, it's the only thing that can make sense to me.
Or some psychic Pokemon, it would make sense for them to have, like, a psychic barrier or something.
Why is it that Pokemon can't use potions, but they can use ice cream?
Oh, because they have levers on them.
Oh.
Potions have little levers that you have to pull, and you need opposable thumbs to do that. And the majority of Pokemon do not.
They also can't do it with, like, energy powder and, like, bitter roots and stuff, though.
Yeah, you have to unscrew the energy powder. It's in a little crystal. Bitter root? I don't know why. Yeah. They probably wouldn't eat it. You have to shove it down their mouth. Because it tastes disgusting. That's why they hate you afterward, because you force feed it to them.
But, like, they say it's the reason they hate it is because it's incredibly bitter.
And it's also because you have to force feed it to them.
In Generation 3, there's Pokemon that like bitter things. Why do they still hate it?
It probably tastes sweet to them.
It tastes sweet to them, so they hate it?
That's the only explanation I can think of. Either that or the programmers were lazy.
Guess so.
They're like, well, I'm not going back and recoding that item just so it affects one Pokemon differently. Are you shitting me?
So I was thinking, if people are, like, if Pokemon obey you if you steal someone's Pokemon, like, why don't people just, like, rob each other's houses all the time and steal their Pokemon?
I don't think they do it. Can you name some examples?
I was just talking about, like, especially if Team Rocket takes the Pokemon and is able to use them, then that means that that's probably, unless they are able to...
But they've never been able to do that. They don't, like, take Brock's Onix and then throw the Pokeball and say, Onix, kill Brock.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
But in the games, it seems like it works okay.
Does it?
Well, why else would they steal it?
It's not clear what they're stealing it for. That's the thing.
Fair.
And I think what happens is... I think they explicitly say that the Pokemon in the game corner that's run by Team Rocket are stolen Pokemon. So they probably sell them, is the thing.
So then why does that Abra listen to you?
Because you're not the one who stole it. They think, well, I guess I have a new master now.
Oh, sad.
It's very sad, but it's like, well, I'll never see my master again. Maybe they would leave for the other one based on the bounds of love.
So couldn't you, like, brainwash the Pokemon into have someone stealing it and have, like, one of their friends be like, oh, I'm so sorry this happened to you. I'll take care of you now.
I don't know what I was expecting switching
from Abra.
Mistakes were made. There's a surprising variety of Pokemon in this gen. It's very exciting.
I think we need a mistake counter.
No, we don't need any mistake counter because I don't make mistakes. Everything I do is intentional and deliberate and perfectly well-intentioned.
Why do you think they make Snubbull a fairy Pokemon?
Because it's pink.
Do you think that's pretty much the yellow?
That's the literal reason. And you laugh, but it's true. All of the Pokemon who made fairy type have something pink or girly about them. And it's very kind of problematic, actually.
Yeah, fair.
Like Clefairy, yes, should be a fairy type. Jigglypuff, sure, I can see that. Snubbull, I guess, maybe. What are the other ones that they transformed into fairy?
Marill.
Yeah, that one didn't make sense.
Mawile.
Wasn't that one Dark Steel before?
It was just Steel type.
I thought it was Dark Steel.
I'm pretty sure it was just Steel type. Could be wrong though.
I'm pretty sure it's Dark Steel. Tell me
They made Togepi a fairy type. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Togepi's weird.
Mr. Mime got turned into a fairy type.
That kind of makes sense because it's weird.
Yeah. Altaria got into a fairy type. That kind of makes sense.
Oh, did it? It's Dragon Fairy?
Yeah.
Not flying?
Well, at least Mega Altaria.
Oh, Mega Altaria, yeah.
I think regular Altaria
is... It's mostly clouds.
Mm-hmm. I think regular Altaria is dragon flying, if anything's fairy type. Rest of these are just new Pokemon.
Is Mawile there?
Yes, Mawile.
Steel Fairy. Well,
yep.
I'll be damned.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it keeps using Sand Attack. This is the end. So this is what hell is. Oh no.
Sand Attack is one of those things that never works for you, but
I'm gonna
always
speed this shit up. There we go, I win. Yeah, we'll get to level 20 eventually. Probably off screen, but we'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe we'll just grind again tomorrow, I don't know.
What do you think those ear things are on Snubbull?
Ears?
Like, they seem just like really strange appendages. I don't know if they're...
Well, Snubbull's based on a bulldog.
Oh.
And I think it's kind of just meant to be like, well, it's got this fancy frill around its neck and a polka dot dress.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very strange Pokemon, actually. I'm not sure how we feel about it. Those strange white feet.
Mm-hmm.
Snubbull. I remember in Pikachu's Vacation, Snubbull was kind of an asshole, but also was a leader. The other Pokemon deferred to Snubbull. And all of the episodes with the Pokemon on their own, it's very strange to see them interact. Like, there's the one episode where the Pokemon get separated in a rock slide or cave-in, and Team Rocket's Ekans and Coughing are with Pikachu and Squirtle, and the Pikachu Squirtle are like, oh no, we gotta be ready to fight them, and Ekans and Arbok are just like, what? No, we don't want to fight. Our trainers are the ones who make us do that. We don't want to fight you. Why would we fight you?
Yep.
And it's just really strange to see that happen. How the Pokemon interact among those. And I know it's a kid's show. It's meant to be just goofy and fun. But sometimes there's just really weird things. And it's meant to be like Pokemon are mysterious and there's a lot to learn about them. Like the episode with the Bulbasaurs and a Venusaur that tries to force everyone to evolve. Or the Pikachu clan living in the woods that Ash almost lets Pikachu go. That episode is heartbreaking.
Do you think he should have let Pikachu go?
Pikachu didn't want to go.
Fair.
And that's the end of it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Butterfree did want to go, and that's the thing. Butterfree was sad to go, but also had a shiny girlfriend.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, if your girlfriend's shiny, you kind of have to go with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a wonder, like, do you think that the other Pokemon like that they're shiny Pokemon or resent them?
So I saw a fantastic comic about this actually once where there was an older, like, Espeon or something. It was in one of the evolutions. I can't remember which, but it had a litter of Eevees that it was raising in the wild, and one of them was shiny, and it's narrated from the Eevee's perspective, and it's saying, "My mom never wanted me because my coat was sparkly and attracted predators." So she kept the mother basically rejected this shiny Eevee because it was attracting predators, and that's why shinies are so rare because they're easy to pick out.
Oh damn!
So this Eevee's like hiding under leaves to hide from predators constantly. A Jigglypuff. Oh, that's extremely rare here. And then in the end of the comic, so this Eevee has internalized this notion that it's completely worthless and no one would ever want it. And then it gets captured by a trainer one day, and it's expecting to be mistreated, and then the trainer just like, and then it says, but this person was different, and the trainer's like caring for it and loving it intensely. It's because the trainer really wanted the shiny, but this trainer loved this Eevee and appreciated it and raised it, and it evolved into a Sylveon.
Aww.
Blue Sylveon.
Sylveon's blue. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I love shiny Sylveon. But yeah, that was such a cute comic. If the original artist is out there, kudos. That thing was badass, and I highly recommend all of you look for it because it's a beautiful comic. Just search shiny Eevee comic. You'll probably find it. In fact, look for it right now. You'll probably find it. on that Pokedex you have there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a ton of Jigglypuffs. I wonder if I hit a time zone change with time recently.
Maybe you might just have.
That's probably what happened.
Why do you think it is that some Pokemon moves have like significantly lower accuracy?
I
Like,
think that's it.
yeah, the difference between like.
Isn't it cute?
Yes. Like the difference between Confuse Ray and Supersonic. Why do those have such drastic accuracy differences?
Supersonic isn't as powerful. Supersonic is just like screeching at something until it like messes with its brain.
Mm-hmm.
Confuse Ray is like a very powerful spell
Mm-hmm.
that is guaranteed to work.
Mm-hmm.
So one relies on imperfect biological
Mm-hmm.
Impulses. The other is actually magic.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. And don't take anything I say here as authoritative because I could be dead wrong. But yeah, I'm just going to finish this up and I think that'll be it. Stoner Bro, you can finish this off.
How do you think Thunder Wave doesn't do enough damage to harm the Pokemon, but does enough that it can paralyze the Pokemon?
It's like static electricity. It just like zaps them. Or it hits them at a very specific part of the nervous system and disables their entire nervous system. Which is interesting because it still affects Pokemon without nervous systems.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyway, so I think that's good. Ooh, yes! So level 18 is a good stopping point for this episode. And we will resume our grinding session next time on Syrasi Plays Pokemon Crystal NuzLocke.